Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online, and unfortunately it had to happen. The first delay is here, so CCP is going to delay the industry changes that were first planned for Kronos. So this is they're explaining this as an example of how the new deployment system is going to allow them to delay features by a little bit and not by like 6 months at a time, but still try and improve the quality if they feel they need to do this. And I think it was this one delivering the industry New Eden deserves. And over here we have again an overview of all the dev blogs of what is planned for that. And they have a lot of feedback that they need to go through. I can imagine, of course, industry is like really one of the backbones of the game. Tinkering to it is like tinkering to the basic rules of the sandbox, and so they have to maintain their due diligence here, or do their due diligence. So they have decided to postpone the deployment until the next patch, so it's called the Cryos deployment, which should be released on July 22nd, so it's around a 6-week delay for the industry changes. And the reason that they're doing this is, as I said, they have a lot of feedback to go through on the industrial changes, and they want to make sure that what they do basically doesn't break the game in any way. And in order to be able to do that, they want to have these industrial changes on the test server for a prolonged period of time. So right after the deployment of the Kronos expansion or mini expansion on June 3rd, they are going to put the industrial changes on the test server, where they're really going to allow the players to give the run for their money, try and find possible basically game-breaking bugs. Yeah, if you start to tinker to this, you have to be careful with how everything works, so that you don't allow like duplications or something that's completely overpowered or is going to break half the economy because you cannot or can do something that you couldn't do before. So personally, well, it's a little bit unfortunate, of course, that there's a delay, and now Kronos does feel a lot smaller than what was planned. To me, Kronos was a little bit like the last big expansion for EVE Online before they would implement a new system of the deployment of patches and expansions. Now it feels like it's really maybe a little bit underwhelming, probably not because of what we're getting, but because of what we know we would have gotten otherwise. On the other hand, I'm pretty happy that that CCP decides to take all the time they feel they need for these features, because after all, one of the major complaints with expansions has always been that CCP has deployed stuff that wasn't actually ready, and after that they needed a lot of patches to just make it playable. And yeah, with this system, you know, they can actually decide that, well, it's not really ready for deployment on TQ just yet. So let's give ourselves like 6 more weeks, something 1 to 2 months, so that we can really test everything out, make sure everything is going to work the way we want it to, and only deploy it after that. This doesn't mean that they have to fully scrap anything that is really not ready. It also means that they don't have to rush out features that they know are going to cause problems, because oftentimes, you know, the player base does know a lot about EVE Online, and very often we do see warnings from the player base when CCP plans a certain feature for an expansion. It then gets ignored because they want to get it out there, they want to have it be a part of the expansion, and then of course all the problems that the player base had said were going to happen do materialize, and then they have to start patching stuff like what happened with loyalty points when they changed faction warfare. You know, people were already warning them that this was a little bit of an exploitable mechanic, and it turns out some alliances really did take advantage of that and create huge amounts of money for themselves through manipulating the LP system. This is just one of the examples, and so I think it's a correct decision to decide that they're going to wait off on the industry changes, give another 6 weeks so they can test everything out, make sure that it's all working as intended, and that there are not too many unexpected consequences, they will always be there, but yeah, it is indeed an advantage of this new deployment system that I can fully follow. It's, of course, it does feel a little bit unfortunate, because it does feel like Kronos has been gutted quite a bit with the delay of these changes, but I fully understand it. And yeah, I hope that CCP can make it work, that CCP can, with the help of the player base, go through all the feedback, that they can find all the possible issues with what they're planning to do, and that they can fix them before it actually has an impact on the game itself. So this does mean that a lot of features are not coming. You won't be able to put up a boss in HiSec without the faction standing, and the change to the fuel costs is also not going to come to go through just yet. And let me see here. Is there anything else around that size? Yeah, that looks good. And so everything pretty much that is tied to the industry changes will not be deployed. Same with the changes to compressions and reprocessing. Of course, the entire manufacturing UI, all of that is not going to come out on June 3rd, but 6 weeks later. And so it's going to have an impact. We're still getting some pretty good stuff. I do like the warp effects. That's going to add a little bit to the video making. We get the new Mordus Legion ships. And yeah, some other features. They even said that they're planning some smaller stuff that they haven't actually talked about just yet, so keep an eye out for that as well. Talking about the Mordus ships as well, if you go to the forums and then you go for, which one was it, features and ideas discussions, if you want to start theory crafting, or if you want more information on the Mordus Legion ships, there is a sticky over here. It's called Kronos Mordus Legion. And over here we have the full details of the Garmer frigate, the Orthrus cruiser, and the Barghest, awesome looking battleship for the Mordus Legion that are going to come out. One interesting little tidbit here: you will be able to purchase the BPCs from Mordus loyalty point stores, but the largest part of the supply will come from a set of new NPCs that will spawn in all low-sec asteroid belts. These will be uncommon NPCs with a similar rarity to hauler spawns. Each NPC will appear by itself and will drop the blueprint for its associated ship 100% of the time. The chance of these Mordus Legion NPCs spawning is equal in all areas of low-sec. So that's actually pretty good. Honestly, this gives us something to try and achieve before in those 6 weeks, in my opinion. It's definitely something that I'm personally planning. I hope that I can get the rest of the corporation in on this as well, just to try and get everything together to build a few of these Mordus ships and go out there in low sec, scour all of the belts, try to get those BPCs so that we can really make them ourselves, and yeah, and be amongst those people that are not going to have to pay incredible sums for these very first Mordus Legion ships. But instead, yeah, it's something to do in the meantime. Just try and make some yourself, try and earn some of these yourself. Sounds very interesting to me. And if you want to start theory crafting, just go for the features and ideas discussion. All the details about slot layouts and everything can be found right there. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Just want to give you a quick update and yeah, mention that the industry changes have been delayed for another deployment 6 weeks after what we'll get for Kronos. A little unfortunate, but in my opinion understandable, and yeah, let's hope that this will improve the quality. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.